Are you gonna be able to hear the guy's piano?
Nah.
No. Okay.
Nah.
Yeah, I can't really hear it. I can hear like you can feel the vibration of it on the floor.
Okay. All right, we are now recording.
Sweet.
Mr. Andre Leone, sir.
What's up?
Thank you so much for doing this with me, man. I really appreciate you coming in and talking with me for a little while.
Yeah. I'm glad that you invited me, man.
I mean, we've known each other for
A very long time.
yeah, a long time.
I mean, I say since '99,
Give or take. So I visited Ohio around like 98, 99. I didn't move until like 2000. I didn't permanently move to Ohio till like 2000. So yeah, definitely we've known each other since then, though.
Yeah, so I think I probably met. I probably seen you around like probably when
Get
you came to
get a
visit,
little
but
bit closer
then-
to that mic.
But then like around
There you go.
like around like '99 for me was when I went to Chicago and I was there for about 3 years. So I think we probably like hung out a lot more once I got back from Chicago.
Oh yeah, you did go to Chicago. You were like deep in Chicago for a while too.
Well, yeah, I was there for about 3 years. Like I had moved there on a really weird situation. You know?
Really?
Yeah. So
What did you do while you were out there? Were you working? Were you DJing? Were you?
so I mean, one, it was '99, so I was like still like 19 years old.
Yeah.
So 18, 19. So I went there. This is a long, drawn out, crazy story. We're gonna
Hey,
start,
we got plenty of time, sir.
We're gonna start it out crazy. So yeah, so this is around the time where I was also going to raves. So I had met with these people at Columbus called Higher Ground, and they invited me to come to the shop and show them some designs that I did, because I went to this rave. I went and showed them some of my designs from my sketchbook. And I was like,
Yeah.
hey, would you guys want to put some of these on your T-shirts? Because they were looking for artists.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right.
so I went there, showed them my artwork. After that, I proceeded to hang out with like some of my friends from Columbus. My friend Jerome, rest in peace.
Right.
And we went to some like after party at his friend's house. Afterwards, I'm hanging out with these with some of his friends that were very shady. That end up being gay con artist heroin addicts.
What? Wait a minute.
This is also around time where I'm very like naive and just trying to get out of a certain situation where I was in, because at a point I was my mom had kicked me out of the house. I was kind of like bouncing places and couch surfing and stuff. Yeah, I was staying with my friend Candy and BJ for a little bit, and it was just a really rough situation.
Was that out in Chicago, Candy and BJ, or was that here?
No, that was here.
Do I know?
Do I know Candy Carter?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was staying with her and like
okay.
her roommate BJ. BJ, rest in peace. He wasn't really in the scene at all.
Okay.
But
okay.
so from then, yeah, I ended up meeting these guys, and I ended up going, quote, shopping with Jerome and this guy Kenny and Dominique. So I ended up finding out. I ended up finding out later down the road how shady this was, and I was at this point where I was just naive and just trying to get out of the situation that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
And they offered me to come move to Columbus with him, Jerome, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool. I mean, I can I can go to a new city, be in Columbus, and maybe work with these guys with my art designs, blah blah blah.
Right.
And it happened. I mean, I came back here, packed all my stuff up. It was like, later BJ, later Candy, and they were like, what's going on?
So just like that, you came, grabbed your stuff.
Well, the guy had told me like he like gave me all these false premises as to like how much I would make doing what these guys are doing, and, and from what I saw, it was just like shopping. It was like, you buy me stuff, blah blah blah, blah. But I ended up finding out it was a bunch of just like buying stuff and returning it in between the return period and getting cash back.
Oh,
the thing is,
okay.
I found out that they were doing ghost check stuff where they would make an account with someone's name.
Oh,
the thing is, they were also using. They got my information. They got my friend Jerome's information, and they were opening accounts
in my
the
two of y'all's name as well,
with their face on it. The thing is, they had this like behind the scenes for a long time, and then I sound so stupid and naive, like saying the story.
No, I mean, dude, you were 19.
Yeah, I was 19 and very like.
Listen, there's 19-year-olds
like,
right now doing way dumber things, like eating Tide Pods. So.
Yeah. So from going to Columbus, things happened really, really quick in this whole pocket of me going to Chicago too. So we went to Chicago to meet up with some of his friends that were part of his business.
Oh, okay. So he actually called it a business.
He had a whole like mastermind plan. Like
gotcha.
Yeah. And he was like, yeah, we're going to go meet my colleagues from my business out in Chicago and do some work out there, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right. And I mean, and throughout all this, I mean, they're like buttering me up, like buying me clothes, you know, like food's paid for, like, you know, like just promising me like, yeah, you know, you'll start making this amount of money pretty soon. And I'm like, awesome. Tell my mom all like this whole story as to this business I'm going to be in, which is all bullshit.
So wait a minute real quick. So the first little bit of this, you weren't actually making money yet.
No, I wasn't. I was like, I guess, learning or training. I was like doing these little things for them where it wasn't where I actually.
It was orientation.
Yeah, orientation. Yeah. The thing is, I wasn't doing like the shady part. I wasn't like doing like I wasn't writing any checks. It wasn't my signature and stuff. I would just be like, yeah, I'm returning this. I don't know. I didn't like it. Can I get my money back?
Oh, okay.
And they would give me money back. I give it to them, and it was all going towards like.
Yeah. To like a big pool.
To the big pool, right?
Yeah, okay.
So we go to Chicago and meet up with his friends, and one of his friends lives like this big guy, Will, like super awesome guy. He's like on the south side of Chicago.
Oh wow!
I ended up meeting him and like his family that were like very low income and very like, I mean like crackheads pretty much. But like functioning crackheads, I don't know.
I mean, that's a thing.
But
that's definitely a thing.
So I ended up meeting this guy, like Angel, and like they ended up doing work and stuff. And the thing is, I'd never been to Chicago. So once we get to Chicago, I was like, holy shit.
Chicago's a hell of a city.
I'm like, yeah, like I was looking around, like I'm like, I love this place. I love this place.
Yeah,
it's
a hell of a it's definitely a hell of a city.
Yeah. So so what happened was, like the one guy Kenny, the mastermind of all this shit. Which I'm not even sure if that's his real fucking name.
Doesn't matter.
He was like, hey, you want to move here? He's like, our lease is up in Columbus pretty soon, so if you want, we can move here. And I'm like, what? And
really?
Yeah. So like, honestly, within like a month or something like that, I'm in Chicago. And,
oh wow!
And all my friends and my family were like, what? Like you just moved to Columbus? I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm just doing this business thing and seeing how it goes. And I mean, honestly. It was a really rough point in my life once I figured out what was really going on. I was like scared to get out of it because the guy was like threatening to fuck with my family, my friends if I told anyone what was going on, because I found out that I found out what was going on and I got really fucking depressed. And there's a point where I also tried heroin with them and I did not like it at all whatsoever. There was a point where I remember trying heroin and I got really sick in the mall and I puked all over this little kid.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and I ran off into the car. Got really sick. I was like, I can't do this shit anymore. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
Would you say that experience, trying it, is somewhat of a blessing in disguise, like not liking it, getting sick, and thinking I'm not. This isn't for me.
Well, the thing is, like, anymore. I mean, when I was going to raves, I mean, yeah, I definitely experimented with a lot of stuff, but there's things that I was like, yeah, I like this, and I'll do it more because I feel like it's like expanding my mind more than like making me feel like shit.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, like I like to sleep and stuff, but I'm not really a fan of
freaking motorcycle just
Tokyo drifting down the fucking boulevard right now. So. But yeah, I mean, I did it, and I immediately didn't like it. But
I mean, that's definitely a good thing.
Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't get hooked on that shit. So yeah, after that, I pretty much stopped doing it, and I kind of started finding out like little things that was going on with like how they run the business and finding out how they were pretty much using my information for stuff, and I was like really, really scared. I was telling my friends and. I had friends out in Chicago that I was like, I need to get out of the situation. It's really scary. And I ended up like going to the one beach out in Chicago where I would like go and just kind of like decompress and just draw like whatever and like just think of stuff. It was really close to where I was living at the point in time with them. There's a point where I found out that they were using my friend Jerome's information, and Jerome was supposed to move with us to Chicago, but he had an epileptic seizure and died.
Oh wow!
And they still kept using his information, and that
even after he passed away, they kept using it.
Yeah, and that was like another part where I was like, I need to get out of this. I mean, I met them through him and realized that they were really fucking him over as they were screwing me over too. So there's a point. So yeah, I was at the beach, kind of just broke down and like called my mom and told her what was really going on and how I'm scared, how I need to get out of it. And she gave me like a little story to tell, him like, hey, like, my grandfather's sick. I need to go back home and take care of him. I have no idea how long it's going to be, but I'll be back. Quote. Yeah.
Mom came through.
So, the thing is, I didn't go back home. I just moved I moved my stuff out, and I moved in with my friend Stacy that was in Chicago that was established with her job, and I moved in with her and her boyfriend, and from there, I found out all the accounts that they had in my name. They had like so many credit cards and like all this shit in my name.
Really?
Yeah. So I wrote them all down, the numbers and all that shit. I called and made a police report, which thank God I did, because otherwise I wouldn't have stuff charged off my account.
Yeah, because that's that's basically identity theft.
Yeah.
I mean, not much. Basically, it literally is identity theft.
Yeah, definitely. So after that, I moved all my stuff out, and Kenny was like, well, if you're coming back, then why are you moving all your stuff out? I was like, I have no idea how long I'm gonna be gone for. So he got kind of skeptical, and like kind of like once I closed all the accounts and all that shit, I put like locks on them, put new passwords, all this shit. He like called me, he was like flipping out. He was like, if you don't like unlock those cards, I'm gonna kill you and your family, blah 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 blah. I'm like, fuck you, man.
Wow.
I'm like, you're bullshit, dude. There's so much more to like that story.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I can imagine.
I can go deep into it with like other shit, but so I got out of there. Moved in with my friend Stacy. I started going to AI in Chicago for VC, and I wasn't there for very long because one, I was just young, and I was just in the whole like big city, like just super enamored by everything. Like, oh my god,
were you? So when you moved out from with them, were you still living in Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't leave Chicago.
No,
you just moved out.
I moved. I moved with friends. I bounced around there too, and it got to the point where I left. Like, but I was moving. I was living with my friend Stacy. I moved out of there with friends from school, and that was when I was staying in a rave cave with a bunch of like friends that were like really deep into like the house scene. I had like friends friends that were connected with like Derek Carter and like Roy Davis Jr. and at this time I'm like still like learning how to DJ, and also still like learning like what kind of stuff I want to play, because when I first started DJing, I was just buying like stuff that
whatever was there, or
stuff that I heard, and like I'm like, oh, what's that? Or like just train spotting stuff and buying stuff that I didn't even realize what it was. I'm like, oh, there's like a trancey song and like a funky filtered house song and and not
I feel like a lot of us started off that way, didn't know exactly what we were buying.
So once I went to Chicago, like I got schooled pretty much.
Okay.
Like everyone was like, yo, this is what's going on, like,
and I mean, listen, if you're in the house, that's the place to get schooled for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's a proper schooling, not like, oh, this is what I like, so you should like it too. Like that's an actual Yeah, and also being with like that pocket of friends at the moment, like was a lot of growth in my knowledge of like producers, tracks, like history, like dancing, like we like where I was staying at, we were like it was a bunch of us in the house, but we all worked. I mean, I went to school as well, and but we threw like a house party that people knew about, and like they would pay for our rent. Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, like hands down. I mean, it was like we had people bringing in like nitrous tanks, or we had like Derek Carter coming to play, John Break It Down Simmons, like fucking Curtis Cashmere, like all from parties that y'all were throwing. Yeah. Was it Soul Foundation, like Brian Gartner and all those guys? They would come by, hang out, and kick it, and it would pay our rent every month. I mean, that's a beautiful thing when your art can pay your rent. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the dream, right?
Yeah.
Like, is to have your or I should say, have your passions pay your rent.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
your passions support you, like you've won at that point.
Yeah, although I was going to school, I kind of ended up dropping out because I was just like, honestly, I was at the point where I kept moving from place to place. So from that place, living with those guys, the landlord that was living there had died, and there was a new owner, and he kicked everyone out because he was like going to redo all the houses. So I had to find somewhere else to move. So I moved in with other friends from school.
So at this point, you're still kind of
I was
couch surfing.
Yeah, in a way, like trying to find my place in Chicago, being young and just like not really knowing what the fuck is going on with my life.
How long after the initial move there did this all take place? Because you were with the scammers for...
I was probably with the scammers for about, I don't know, I'd say probably like 6 to 8 months.
Okay. So we're close to a year in right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so then I moved in with the guys from school, and then moved in, and I was there. I was with them for probably like another, like I said, like 6, 8 months, I'd say, or a year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I moved in with my friend George, which he was like the pivotal like part in like with my art, because he's like really abstract and like very good with this stuff. George Perez, I'm not sure if he's even around still.
Real quick, were you?
I was also doing like a lot of graffiti.
I was about to ask, were you during this whole time you were already into art, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So at that point, I was in school for VC. And as well, I was also just doing graffiti with like a bunch of cats out there, like I Am Crew, like UTB, all those guys, and Air Crew, and so there's a point where I kind of like just stopped having like the passion to draw and stuff, and I was like kind of like more focusing on DJing and wanted to be like one of those. I wanted to be like the Mark Fried and Derek Carter and and travel and DJ. So I was like kind of putting all my like energy into that, and also about working side jobs and not really like doing the things that I had to do to like get to that level, like produce my own music and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's always been something that I wanted to learn how to do, is just like getting down and getting to the nitty gritty
and actually doing it, pulling the trigger and doing it.
Yeah. Because I have like so many other things going on that I like doing, and it's like, I don't want to spread myself too thin. Yeah. But also stress myself out trying to like learn a bunch of other stuff.
I mean, that definitely happens a lot. People try to have a hand in everything.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, they're stressed out.
Yeah, stressed out or like lacking in what you.
I've seen that a lot a lot with some promoters. Like they want to put the party together, but then also promote it, but then also make the flyer. But then also do this, and it's like, dude, you have your hand in way too many pots, man.
You gotta have like a strong team.
Yeah, you got to start at some point. You got to start delegating.
People you got people. Yeah, people in your corner that have the same vision as you do, at least. So you can, achieve it and like manifest it. So it's how you want it. So otherwise, it's gonna falter, and people are gonna have a bunch of egos going around, and
too many egos.
Yeah, way too many. And there's a lot in Cleveland.
So you started concentrating. You started concentrating more on DJing at this point.
Yeah.
And kind of the passion for drawing kind of waned a little bit.
Yeah. So I was doing that, and then again, like, it came to a point where like I said, I stopped going to school out there, and I think I was just so stressed out with the whole like couch hopping thing, and just trying to figure out what I should do. Like I didn't want to go back to Ohio. Like I just didn't want to go back home. Mm-hmm. Like I wanted to try and show like my family or my mom that I can like make it. Yeah. But at the same time, like moving there with like a very like kind of sour, like broken foundation didn't really help,
It's tough. I mean, you moved there under horrible circumstances.
Yeah, very
like unbeknownst to you as well. Like to move there thinking, this is about to be this great thing, and I'm about to make money, about to have a career, and then to find out, oh shit, like I'm a part of this like giant scam situation, and you're 19. Like that's a lot. That's a lot to take in.
Dude, honestly, like I feel like in my life I've learned so many lessons the hard way, and it's made me such as like a stronger person, or who I like keep around me.
You're definitely one of the stronger people that I know. To be completely honest with you, some of the things that you've been through, man. I've seen people fold from so much less. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I see people that don't bounce back from the initial move to Chicago. You know what I mean? There's people that don't bounce back from that.
Honestly, yeah, you know what? Like, I mean, I'm very grateful that I took the turn where I did, because I honestly could went to Chicago, became this crazy heroin addict, and died.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
100%.
saying? Like,
Yeah, there's people that don't bounce back from
yeah,
that.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
I know mentally I'm very strong-willed.
For sure,
So, like,
for
I mean,
sure.
I know, like, how to get out of situations. The thing is, I think I've learned how to adapt with a lot of, with just my environment, more so probably because when I was younger, I mean, I moved around so much with my mom. Like, I mean, I moved a lot. So, like, I always was meeting new friends. I was always adapting to, like, a new curriculum at school. I was always, just environment, just whatever. Like, I was always a new kid. So, like, I had to adapt with everything. So
you had to moving around a lot. I feel like people that moved around a lot as kids tend to be able to, like, move to a new city, make new friends, get connected, if you will.
yeah,
It from what I've seen, I mean, I moved around a lot as a kid as well, but people that I know that have moved around a lot, they're usually the ones that, a lot of people know them, and not that it's a popularity contest, but they're so used to, okay, we're picking up and we're going. And I mean, that's a lot to put on a kid as well. Like, I think sometimes
definitely.
parents don't realize that picking up and just saying, hey, you're going to this place and you're starting completely over, that's a lot for an adult, let alone a kid.
Yeah. Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I
Well,
mean?
yeah. It's also, it's definitely hard for on both parties. The thing is, like, the thing is, like, I mean, I didn't, like, growing up now, I see why my mom did what she had to do, because she wanted to make, to give me a better life. But at the same time, I mean, she was a great provider, but, like, in a way, like, how she treated me, like, it was, I mean, I see it as if, like, I was more like an object, and she was moving me around just to kind of fit what she needed to do, and not what I needed, what was needed for me.
Well, they say hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to understand it now as an adult than it would have been as a kid or a teenager. As a teenager, everything is the end of the world. Like, no matter what it is, this is just the end of the world. Or this person doesn't like me, this is the end of the world. Or I like, you're moving away from your crushes, you're moving away from your friends,
best friends.
Yeah,
it's hard to, like, I think I feel like it's also hard for me to, like, fully open and, like, have, like, solid friendships, relationships sometimes, because I've always been moving. So I feel like it's hard for me to, like, really, like, latch on and be like, all right, you're, like, solid, my solid friend, because
you've always had to start over.
It's why I start. Yeah. So
you don't have any friends really, or you might. But speaking from self experience, I don't have any friends, and I'm wondering if this is the case for you as well. I don't have any friends that I can say we've known each other since we were like 4 or 5 years old.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I have many friends that I'm still friends with. I've known since, like, middle school, that I also talk to here and there.
Yeah.
There's still like that friendship when I hang out with you. Cool. Like,
Yeah.
But you can also tell that, like, we've definitely have grown our separate paths. But at the same time, when we hang out, it's still family. It's still, I've known you forever. How you doing? Blah, blah.
A lot of the friends that I have now, and again, this is something that I'm wondering is the case for you as well. A lot of the friends that I have now, when we're all together and they're pulling out pictures from, like, grade school and stuff like that, I'm not in any of them.
I don't have.
They're in them together.
Yeah, they have
but
that.
I'm not in.
They have, like, those solid circles. And the thing is, I've never been a person that's been in solid circles. I have always been that friend that I'm friends with friends from, like, this pocket, this circle of friends, and, like,
a bit of a chameleon.
Yeah. So I've never, I've never been, like, I guess, like, that solid friend that's been like a staple in that circle to be, like, in those. Yeah. Because if I am, it's very random.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind.
Like,
whatever.
It's fine. How do you feel like that's affected you, like, in your adult life? Like, do you find it harder to I mean, we were talking about, like, trusting people and trusting friendships. Do you find it a little bit more difficult to do that because of the moving around?
In a way, yeah. But the thing is also, like, when I meet somebody, I don't know. I feel like I'm just a very good judge of character, to where I'm like, all right, like, I can see myself hanging out with you, and, like, I don't know, like, I guess I put trust in people, at first, until you ruin it for me.
Okay.
I mean, there's some people I'm kind of like, like somewhat sketched out about.
I mean, some people are just shady.
Yeah, some people are shady.
Some people are just shady as hell.
But also some people also do have like, like a bad first impression, and that's not, their fault. Sometimes, they were either drunk or blah, 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 and they could be a good person, but how you met them the first time could be like really shitty. And you're like, that guy's kind of shitty.
I feel like in the scene that we were in, that happened a lot.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of times people were just...
The thing is, in the scene here, I mean, I have a lot of friends, I have a lot of good friends, I have a shit ton of acquaintances that like, I mean, I'm just slowly kind of just like, cutting off, just gotta trim the fat off of friends and
a little spring cleaning.
Yeah, and just really realize like who's quality.
Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes
not quantity,
Yeah, sometimes the quality over quantity is a real thing in life as well as like other things. But yeah, sometimes with friends you kind of gotta let some of them go. And
the thing is like, I mean, even from me, the thing is like, for me going to raves, that also opened me up to like be more social and to be more open with myself and to be more, I don't know, like I was very curious to like know everyone's story, So like from me going to raves, like I was always meeting everybody. I was getting people's numbers.
Yeah.
If I had a connection with you, I was like that friend that I would call, I had like my little like black book of friends, and I would call everyone through the book like every weekend and just be like, yeah, how you doing? How's life? Blah, blah, what's new?
I remember getting those calls.
Yeah. Like, are you going to so-and-so party? Blah, blah, let's hang out, something. And
I feel like you still kind of do that to this day.
I do here and
there. A little bit.
I do here and there, but like nowhere near as much as I used to.
I feel like for the close friends mostly, because you're the reason that I went back to Chicago. Like you hit me up and was like, "Yo, we're going. Yeah, we're going to talk about that on the podcast later too." Yeah, we'll save that for the podcast.
But yeah, I mean, so yeah, it's the rave scene has like definitely opened me up to be open with more friends, but also I realized as I've gotten older that like I realized that I was the one that was like reaching out to all my friends while they weren't really giving me the same effort.
Reaching out to you, it wasn't reciprocated.
Yeah, not at all. Mm-hmm. Or it was, but and that was like a hard thing to like to grasp. Like what, I gotta let certain people go. Like no one's like really giving me that energy, and I'm pretty much like giving myself to everyone to like I don't know like just to have a family or have like a solid crew of people I see instead of being the person that's always in like other like random circles, which
the person that is always the glue that kind of binds everything together.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's funny because I mean I've had friends tell me, which I mean I never really like realized this, but yeah, I have a lot of friends like you are like that person that links people with people that should be hanging out or that should be together to like learn from each other or grow or whatever.
And that gets tiring though.
It does.
Like at some point, it's like, why can't y'all do this yourself?
Yeah, yeah. That thing is, well, I mean, I feel like I link people together that are in like certain or like in separate circles or like lifestyles and like have them meet,
connecting the rings, if you will.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's awesome to know or to think about. I
mean, but, for sure. What was it that brought you like out of your funk with art? Because you know I know you stepped away from it for a while, and
I'm not gonna lie, man. Like there's times where even right now where I mean I'm still in a funk.
Really?
Yeah. I mean I have like crazy artist blocks. And the thing is like definitely like I mentally like beat myself up a lot of times, and I have like a lot of like self-worth, self-value issues, just like with depression, anxiety, which I'm realizing like have flushed up through this COVID shit. Like there's a lot of stuff that I've flushed down that I'm like now finally kind of like seeing and trying to face right now.
Finally starting to deal with.
Which is rough. I mean,
underlining issues and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of shadow work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of scary, and it's I mean it's enlightening though too. So it's rough, but like I'm glad I'm getting it all out, like all those demons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so what got me out of that funk,
or what got you back into it heavy? Like what got you back into like
tattooing and whatever?
Well, just art in general, because you were doing a lot of art before you even started tattooing.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I met you, like I knew that you could draw your ass off, and like at that point I feel like you were either out of it or you were coming out of it, or you were getting back to drawing, because I met you as a DJ, a dancer, and as an artist.
Yeah. So yeah, the thing is, so when you met me around that point, yeah, I mean, I was drawing here and there, or I would like sketch around with stuff, and people were like, dude, oh my god, you can draw. And then if they showed like genuine interest, then I would like bust out my drawing books. I'm like, yeah, these are my drawings, and they're like, everyone's like, what the fuck, what? Like I remember showing Bob like my books and Verb and all those guys, and
I'm pretty sure they were like, dude, why aren't you doing this more?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think it was just like a thing where like I wasn't doing as much because I was just like, I was like self-conscious for some reason. I don't fucking know. It was weird. Like I went through a part where I didn't really draw a lot for like 8-9 years, and I was just like DJing a lot and trying to like learn that, because that was like my new way to express myself through like the music tip more than the visual thing, because. Also, from drawing in school, like I was always that kid that would draw constantly for everybody. It was like, draw me a picture. At a person that
did that ever get annoying?
Yes.
People constantly wanting you to draw pictures.
Yes, but a lot of times there's times where I wanted to. I would draw pictures for like my good friends. You know, I would go home and just draw shit. Or there's times where I would like eat acid and just draw.
So was that in a way was that your way of showing affection to your friends?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then, like, there's parts in when I was in like middle school, I would draw pictures for this one person, and he would erase my name, and put his name on it, and show it and tell everyone that he drew what I drew him. Which everyone knew that it was my stuff, but it was the fact that it was like, I'm like, that's a
shitty thing to do.
Disrespectful, but also it was a very bullying thing, because he was also a bully in school, and in a way I was like trying to like be like, hey man, I'll draw you some shit. Maybe we can be cool, and you can not be an asshole and bully everyone.
That was your way of keeping the peace.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get bullied a lot in school?
Yeah.
Really? What did it have to deal with? Was it like race issues?
Yeah. So yeah, I made a post on Facebook about this recently, but yeah, it didn't really start until like middle school or something. It wasn't like I was like getting bullied like when I was little and stuff, but it was mainly because of race. Like people like not knowing like what I was, so they would automatically try and label me as something. They're like, oh, you're Mexican, you're Samoan, you're Hawaiian, you're this, you're that, and
as like, opposed to just
not really even asking me, or if they did ask me, it was like, what are you? Like,
that's
which I'm like, and when you come at me like that, I'm automatically like, I don't really want to talk to you anymore.
Exactly. I mean, they're coming at you combative.
Yeah, or just like, oh, you're alien to me. Like, what are you? And like, I need to figure out a way to like label you. You know,
people tend to try to put labels on things they don't understand, as opposed to trying to learn about it. They decide to throw a label on it because that's sometimes it's a form of like making something a throwaway issue, like, oh, okay, well, you're just Mexican, so
exactly.
and that's that, and I'm not here to learn. I'm not here to.
Here's my Mexican friend, and you're like, I'm not Mexican. They're like,
at all.
Well, like you're brown skin or you're tan skin. I'm like, so what? Like,
that doesn't. Not every brown skin person is Mexican.
Why don't you ask me a fucking question and ask me what I am?
If I may ask, I mean, obviously I know, but people watching may not. What is what? That's always the weird thing about talking to friends. Like, I know a lot of this stuff, but obviously the people that are watching don't. What is your background?
So for the worldwide to hear.
Yeah.
So I'm Filipino. I'm mostly Filipino from what I realized from like my like DNA test. Filipino, Black, Native American, which I'm a Cherokee, Sioux, Blackfoot. And I think I'm another tribe, and a tiny bit of Irish.
Really?
Yeah.
There's Irish in there.
Oh yeah, and some Chinese, I guess. Like a little bit Chinese, yeah.
Okay.
The thing is, like,
I think the Chinese might come from the Filipino, because I think
because how they break it down in the DNA test, they break it down more from like the islands and like how it's like like how things have changed and how it is now. So like, I'm mainly Filipino. Yeah. And Filipino, Black, Native American. So.
And then nobody called you any of those things.
No,
they just called you Mexican.
No, or Mexican, or just what are you, or like Puerto Rican or Hawaiian. Hawaiian thing is a new thing now because I've filled out a little bit. But I mean, but yeah, like it was more so race. Like I remember like when I moved to Georgia, I got in fights out there with like people that I thought were actually my friends. Like I got jumped by 3 of my friends.
Really?
Yeah, and I pretty much cut them off. Yeah, the thing is, they were friends of mine that were in the same like complex that I was living in, so I would like hang out with them, you know, because I was like, you know, I didn't really know anyone else. I couldn't. Like, my mom wouldn't drive me around to friends' houses and stuff. So I mean, but I do. I mean, I made core friends out there as well that I still talk to here and there. But yeah, I got in a fight with those guys, and that was like really rough. I didn't stay in Georgia for very long though. I was there for probably like 2 years, and then I moved to Twinsburg, and I was there, and I got in fights a lot out there.
Twinsburg, Ohio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got in fights a lot out there. I made a lot of friends really quick. I had like a core little crew of friends that I had, and I remember getting in a fight with this one guy that was like supposedly a skinhead. It was like this little skinhead, little small group, and I got in a fight with this one guy, and he wasn't even like in our school. He was like in like the little side trade school, wherever it was, or
or they're like satellite schools or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, where like, you know, like bad kids that would go to school.
Yeah. I think they're called satellite schools, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I forget the name of them. So yeah, I remember his name, fucking Scott Besker, and all I knew was that this guy wanted to fight me because he thought that I was black. He called me like mud man or sand nigger, and like, like, and I had no idea who this guy was. Yeah. Right. And then I finally saw this guy. I'm like, this is a scrawny fucking dude. Whatever.
So he was just calling you these things. Like, was he saying it to other people, or was he saying it?
I have
like,
no idea. I mean,
was he like yelling it out to you? Because if you hadn't seen him before, but he was just like going around like talking about you.
I think there were friends of his that were going to the school that were like, yo, so and so wants to fight you, blah blah blah. And I was like, who's that? I don't know.
Oh, okay. So he was talking shit at his school,
or those guys were talking shit about me to him. And he was like, I'm gonna fight him, blah blah blah.
Wow.
I don't know. So. Yeah.
That's a weird reaction to something like, oh, I'm going to fight him. Like,
yeah. So like pretty much like, you know, word got around school, and I'm just like, still like, who is this guy? I'm like, I guess, all right, cool. I guess I'm going to fight this guy. I don't know. So I end up going to this place like behind this grocery store called, not the Baronas, it's some grocery store in Twinsburg. And it was like this place called The Pit where people would go there, smoke and drink. And
this sounds like a fucking movie, dude.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So
you went to the pit to fight.
Yeah, so I remember going there, and the guy walks around the corner, and he's like, yeah, like all like fucking looking all like rough and ready to fucking rumble and shit. I'm just like, oh, this is the guy. I'm like, all right, man, what's up? I'm like, I guess we're gonna fight ever. He's like, yeah, fucking some mud, man, fucking sand nigger, blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
man, he was that adamant about it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sure he had his own fucking shit going on with his own fucking, you know, how he views himself, whatever. But yeah, so we fought, and I got jumped.
Really?
Yeah, like because I just clocked him right in the eye, and I split his eyebrow wide open. So
at that point, rightfully so.
So he dropped to the ground, and then like his other friends start like kicking me.
Oh wow!
And yeah, then he got up, started kicking me, and like my girlfriend was there and was watching, and like it was rough, man.
I feel like his issues had way more to do with
way
him,
deeper. Yeah,
and like maybe his home life than it did with you.
The thing is, I feel a lot of things with bullying comes from what people are going through with themselves at home. Insecurities as well. Yeah, because honestly, like the thing is, I'm gonna lie to me, I bullied too. Like I got bullied so much, and like, you know, like how things were at my homestead were really fucked up with me and my mom. So like I mean, like, you know, I bullied this one kid, and I mean, honestly, I think there's the only time I bullied someone because he kicked my ass, and I like it was my fault. I deserved it. The thing is, I bullied him. Like we were both in wrestling class. I was bullying him. He snapped, like threw me on the ground, kicked me in my nose, blood splattered everywhere.
Oh fuck!
And then he ran into the locker room crying. And the thing is, I think he was possibly maybe like just like somewhat slower, and I didn't know. I saw. He was fucking stupid, whatever.
Yeah.
So I apologized to him, and I mean, like, you know, we were cool, but I mean, yeah, like.
Oh, so y'all, you made amends with him.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. I mean, that's actually a huge step. Yeah, that's a huge step.
I mean, I was like, I mean, he ran out crying, and also even as I was doing it, you know, like I'm like, this isn't me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. That I feel like a lot of times you're right. Bullying comes from a place of hurt.
Yeah, hurt
and not knowing how to deal with these emotions, these feelings that you're having. So you kind of
just projecting.
Yeah, you just take it out on someone else, and take it out on someone that you feel is either inferior or smaller,
or people that you love, or whatever. Like, I mean, it's all
yeah.
just projecting, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's
they say hurt people hurt people.
Yep, that's
So,
very accurate.
How do you think we can avoid stuff like that? Is it, I mean, what is the
Bullying?
Yeah, or just like,
I mean, I really think that it comes down to like how you're brought up and how your parents treat you, and you know, your parents like giving you self-worth, and like, you know, like, you know, that you're worth it and that you're valued and you're loved, and not like I guess like acting out when you do something wrong, and more so being like reactive, or not being active than being reactive.
Being reflective as opposed to reactive.
Yeah, then like a parent, like, you know, like hitting you when you're doing wrong instead of like coming to talk to you.
Yeah.
You know, because then, you know, you getting hurt, you see your parent as like an enemy, you know, at a point, and maybe that gets projected into like, you know, how you put yourself out there whenever you make friends, or just living and just experiencing things, you know.
When I had the last episode, I had Isla Vu on. She's a Vietnamese Asian American activist singer, and we talked about like some of the bullying that she went through in school. And
I'm sure it's rough.
She's Vietnamese, and she said that they like at one day she walked into school and the kids were chanting "chink," and I'm like, that's not even the right race, you know what I mean? And
you don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
They just know derogatory terms. They know it's associated with this certain color of a certain skin, and just raining it off.
Yeah. And what I kind of figured was, you know, kids don't just know these words. So their parents had to have said it. So at some point, one of their parents had to have had an issue with some Asian people, you know what I mean, and just decided to spew the word out, and then the kid picks it up, takes it to school. Hey, you look different from me, so now I'm gonna bully you. Or the kid is being bullied at home, and then goes to school and bullies those that look different from them.
Or they're learning it from friends that they end up hanging out with, being younger, that are learning it from their parents, and then you learn
exactly.
You know, it just kind of affects the friends, and then that grows.
It's like a vicious cycle, basically. It just keeps going around and around and around.
The thing is, right now, like with everything going on with like the Black Lives Matter and just the whole race issue, and I just feel like it's going to be a hard thing to change. I feel like there needs to be like a really deep spiritual radical like change, like from like the root to really like stop bullying. But everyone's going through so much stuff, and everyone's, you know, handling it in their own ways, whether you be a kid or a teenager or whatever. Like, you're gonna project it in some sort of way, and
we have a lot of adult bullies right now.
Well, the thing is a lot of adult bullies, because they never learn, they never put in the work mentally to try and learn about how to better themselves. They just go with what they know and go with those old habits, and don't never really change.
To them, that's normal.
Yeah, to them, that's normal.
Yeah,
and
they're surprised.
Really
they're surprised
sad.
that we don't act like that.
Yeah,
because to them, that's just how life has been.
Oh yeah. They just were raised with like no fucking logic, or I don't know.
I mean, I feel like the key to that would be like, I mean, first of all, you have to realize that what you're doing isn't good behavior. You know what I mean? Yeah. It isn't, there's no good outcome from that. So that's the first step, is realizing what you're doing is essentially, you know, as far as humanity goes, it's just wrong. And then the next step would be to get like some type of therapy.
Yeah.
But I feel like right now, we talked about this off camera a little bit, therapy is kind of viewed as like an admission of weakness,
exactly,
or an admission of failure. You said
failure,
that you've done therapy a little bit, right?
So so when I was a lot younger, and me and Mom were going through like our like rough times, which we still do like to this day,
right?
I went through therapy for a very short period of time. It was very, very short, and I don't remember like what it was even about. I'm sure it's probably because I was probably acting out and being bad, because, I mean, at a certain point, I mean, I was definitely being bad. I'm not sure if that was because of me just rebelling and getting older, or in like from moving around so much and not having like a solid like platform, or, you know.
Seemed like there was a lot of things compiling on top of each other.
There's a lot of things
weren't
compounding,
being handled.
At all. It would, and I rebelled a lot. And that's probably, I mean, that's like one of the reasons why me and Mom are like very like rough to this day. But even so, like with therapy right now, like I was saying before off camera, like COVID has like flushed up a lot of like deep things like that. I don't know, like I feel like a lot of people like probably push down.
Yeah.
You know, or that people just push down in general to just, you know, live their next day and not let it stress them out and get anxiety or kill themselves or whatever the fuck.
Right.
So a lot of it is like flushed up, and I'm really glad that I'm going through it. I mean, I'm very like willing to like work through all these issues and get all these like dark layers of me like out and try to be a better person. And like it's really hard.
I mean, I can only imagine.
I mean, you know, like facing stuff that like happened in the past and like actually like emotionally like kind of like going back to like memories and being like, yeah, I felt this way instead of being like detached from that memory and be like, oh yeah, that happened, it sucked.
Yeah.
You know, like really going back to that memory and being like, wow, I feel really hurt from this part, and this is probably the reason why I do this. This is probably the reason why I act this way with my
deconstructing
partners.
it in a sense.
Yeah, it's breaking down all that shit that's around, all that sludge, you know, and like getting to the root problem of why do I do certain things as an adult. And like, I mean, I'm glad I'm doing it. It's definitely going to be a long road.
It's definitely a hard path.
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about you know, how like current will go through the path of least resistance, and like sometimes doing things in life requires us to go through the path of resistance. So like going to therapy, bringing up these things from your past, bringing up the things that have hurt you, and working through those that is the path of resistance. It's not the path of least resistance.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's also like breaking down like all those habits and like those things that like make your ego how it is, you know, like you got to break through that. And
and that's the only way you can grow.
Where's the real you through all that, you know? Man. Therapy and DMT is helping.
Really?
So,
we sound like Joe Rogan now.
I mean, honestly, I mean, I won't go deep into it, but I mean,
you can talk. You can talk about it if you like. You've experimented with DMT.
Yeah, I experimented.
Is it like a normal thing, or every now and again?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not something that you want to do recreationally. You definitely want to do it. I mean, is that the stuff that lasts like for like 30 seconds or a few minutes or something like that? Yeah, it's like 15 minutes. But I mean, if you want to take it, you know, and if you want to do ayahuasca, I mean, that's a
is that process. The stuff that lasts a few seconds and you like shit yourself or something like that?
No, I don't know. Is that salvia? I'm not
it's
sure.
It's DMT, one of them. Joe Rogan was talking about it.
DMT like lasts for probably like, I don't know, say 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
But it feels a lot longer as you're experiencing it, though.
Oh, okay.
But ayahuasca is like the brew that you make, which also has the DMT in it. But I think how they make it, you put something in there where it kind of slows down your the MAOI inhibitor, or how you digest, so it lasts a little bit longer. So you experience.
Okay.
You have a lot more deeper experience with it.
Okay.
But I do it mostly like I would say maybe every season or maybe like twice a year, just to kind of get like a spiritual kind of cleansing. To kind of get like a reset.
Yeah.
To like, all right, like kind of get back to yourself.
Wasn't there a documentary about
ayahuasca?
Well, just using like I don't want to say hallucinogens, because is DMT a hallucinogen?
Yeah.
It is.
It's a very strong hallucinogen.
Okay, yeah, I think that's what the documentary was about. Was like using like hallucinogen microdosing and things like that in order to like just open up your thought patterns and open up your mind to like.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think you can really like microdose DMT, because I feel like I feel like when you do DMT, you want to get that full experience, because when you get that full experience and you blast off is when you really get that really deep.
So you either do it or you don't.
Well, there's like phases to it though.
Like, do me a favor, real quick. Square up with just turn a little bit to your right.
Like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, because I kind of want people to see that shirt too. I love that shirt.
Love yourself.
Is that what it says? Love yourself? Yeah. Oh, it does.
He's talking to himself.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of sit square like that. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Lauren got this shirt for me. Thank you.
Nice.
Thanks,
nice.
Lauren.
Is Lauren your lady friend?
Yeah, she's my lady friend.
Your lady friend?
Yeah.
I don't know why I like the term lady friend.
Yeah, so
I like it a lot.
I guess instead of girlfriend sounds very like middle school, high school. Like, that's
Yeah,
my girlfriend.
yeah, exactly.
That's my boyfriend.
Yeah. So lady friend, I don't know. Lady friend kind of sounds a little bit more respectable.
Or you say that's my person.
Yeah, that's your human.
Yeah, that's my human.
Your partner.
Yeah.
I don't like using the term partner. Not a fan.
I can get that.
Just because,
I don't like partner either. Like,
yeah, we're not going on a heist.
Yeah, we're not going. We're not going. Like, we're not doing like the do-si-do.
Yeah.
Partner, it's just
like we're not robbing a bank, so we're not in business together. So
you're the person that I'm investing my life in. Now on this journey.
I mean, I understand the argument for the term life partner.
Yeah,
I get it.
You're my journey person.
Something. Yeah. I don't know. Just the term partner. It also feels kind of country, like, oh, yeah, watch out there, partner.
Yeah, like, grab your partner, do-si-do.
Or like very West Coast. What's up? What's up now, partner?
Yeah. I mean, I'm down for partner more than like partner.
Yeah, way more.
It sounds
way
so
more.
hokey.
So you experiment with DMT.
Yeah.
Maybe once, twice a year.
Yeah, once, twice a year. I mean, again, I recommend it to everyone. It's definitely a life-changing experience, especially if you have like some deep stuff that you want to get out, or you just want to learn more about yourself.
Right. I mean, as a straight edge individual, I've never experimented, but I'm not like I don't.
I mean, you can also achieve all that stuff through to like with like meditation and like yoga. Yeah. I mean, I haven't really delved.
Well, I'm a big believer in not yucking someone's yum. So if it's not something that's harmful, I'm all about give it a try. Like I'm a big proponent of weed. I'm a big proponent of CBD.
Yeah, if it opens up your mind and helps you think and be a better person or get to the better person that you want to be, then I'm fully all about it. But
the things that are out here killing people, heroin, coke, stuff like that, I'm like, let's.
Or even like, I mean, it's just weird that the things that are legal are the things that like are really killing you, but the things that are mind expanding,
alcohol, cigarettes, coffee,
but the things that are gonna open up your mind and help you be a better person are all illegal.
Yeah, I mean, they're finally starting to legalize like
mushrooms
and weed in a lot of places and stuff.
And they're also, I guess, they're talking about making a pill that's MDMA LSD mixed. So pretty
I was about to say, isn't that already a
flipping?
Yeah. I was about to say, isn't that how MDMA kind of came about? Wasn't it originally a diet pill, if I'm not mistaken? I think ecstasy originally was a diet pill, and then those were the side effects.
I heard MDMA was used for marriage counseling.
Was it?
Yeah. Which I mean, I can tell you,
I could totally see that.
Yeah.
I remember when ecstasy was a thing. Obviously. Every time the new version comes out, it has a different name. It went from ecstasy to
Molly.
Well,
there's certain brands of it. There's certain ways to make it. So
when ecstasy first hit the scene,
that's more.
I remember reading that originally it was a diet pill. It was originally a diet pill, and then those were the side effects. So then they were like, "Oh shit, we can't.
We
can't release this," and then. People were like, but we can do it.
And now they're like, well, we're going through some rough shit. Maybe we should release like
also explains
a
lot.
Flip pill.
Yeah. It also explains a lot because back in the day, remember, ravers used to be really skinny with really big feet.
Yeah.
Remember, we used to talk about that.
Dude,
we used to be why are these ravers so skinny with super huge feet? Like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, the thing is, what's crazy, like, I never really delved too deep into the whole ecstasy stuff. I was more like the kid that would eat acid and dance for straight up hours. Like, I would eat acid. I would watch DJs play. Be like, what track is that? In train spot, and then I would watch dancers and like yourself, and be like, I'm like, oh my god, and like that would open up doors in my head. And like honestly, I blame acid for the reason why I dance the way I do, because otherwise I didn't know how to dance at all. But before I was going to raves,
I mean, thank God for acid.
I did not know how to fucking dance.
Neither did I.
And so I went to my first rave. I mean, one. I remember seeing like kids in school like doing like the little raver hop thing because they were already going to raves, and I'm like, what is this stuff?
You're like, what the fuck are you doing?
The thing is, like, I love how they were dancing, and I love like hearing the music, and then like getting into raves and Daft Punk and all that kind of stuff. And then I just started dancing, and I ate acid, and then just opened up that door, and then it's never been the same.
I mean, thank God for that though.
The thing is,
I
also
mean,
have like teachers.
You're a great dancer.
I mean, I also have like teachers from. I mean, I would watch you. I would watch fucking like Tic Tac. I'd watch like just random. I mean, like Ohio had a really good hub of dancers.
Really good.
I mean, and then from going to raves in like Pittsburgh or Toronto or Chicago, I mean, you just see different flavors of styles, and I would just eat acid and just incorporate little things, and like you know.
Ohio also had a really good dance music scene.
Yeah.
Like you could dance, you could go to clubs and dance, as opposed to, you know, I'm not knocking it because right now it's where I make my living. But the bottle service scene is a lot different than the club scene that we came up in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
So?
Yeah, because you could.
I don't really go to like the Barley House stuff where you and like Damien and.
Well,
John,
I mean,
like,
pretty much the biggest difference is, so we would go to clubs and we would dance and like literally dance all night. You left the club dripping in sweat.
Yeah.
That doesn't really happen now because most of the
it's
time
sad,
now
man. It's really sad.
Yeah, it's about bottle service.
It's all about. I feel like it's all about the status and being seen now and looking good and like the thing is, what's crazy is that like you hear all this like dance music stuff or this pop dance music stuff that's coming out and like it's at the club and no one's dancing.
No one's dancing to it.
Maybe
and a lot of it's really good.
They're doing the whole pumping point like.
Yeah, or they're standing and they're holding.
They're standing or holding their phone.
And again, like, listen, I'm not knocking it because we need we need that, but we also need places where you can go and dance. We need some places where it's about dancing.
Yeah. Well, that's how you. I mean, well, that's where you have like the separation of like the old ravers that that still were in. They were there for the music.
Yeah.
And they were there to dance their ass off all night.
Yeah.
And then when you had that rave act happen, like we had to all go to the clubs.
Yeah.
So you had the club. So
the rave act. Yeah. Right.
So we all had to go to the clubs to hear the DJs that we wanted to.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly. Yeah.
raves are cut, or you had like a renegade thing, but at the same time, you also had the people that weren't part of the rave scene that were going to the clubs hearing that music that were in that club mindset. So we had we had to mesh all that together.
Yeah.
So then you had people that were there trying to dance, and the people that were there just clubbing and trying
to club it up
and you know, find some girls, drink, you know, these scene stuff, like, you know, like us like scene raver kids are more all about like the dance.
Yeah. Like actually the dance.
Yeah. Then being upset, you had to go to a club and you had to like, you know, like, yo, can we get room to dance or something?
Yeah.
And clubbers are just like, yeah, I mean, no.
Whereas clubs used to let us dance.
Yeah.
And then once we can have that space and we can put tables on that space, then the dancing kind of started taking the back seat, and then at some point it was like it's just non-existent.
Yeah, now there's not like even any dancing circles anymore. Like
no, I haven't.
I'll see that at like Detroit at Movement, but even then they're all dwindling down because everyone's just standing around, pumping and pointing.
It happens a little bit. Surprisingly, it happens every now and again at it happened at Barley.
Yeah.
And it happens at Velvet Dog a lot. There's a lot of space to dance there. We just got to get, you know, people that actually dance to come out. But a little bit. I mean, it would happen out on so you know, I would DJ out on the island during the summer. Yeah, it would happen out there a lot.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, they don't care. I've made circles out there before, and they're like, do it up. Yeah, do it to it, and obviously
you have that charm and energy to like get motherfuckers to go out and dance. I mean, I do like your fucking like little thing, and like and people are like, oh my god, you know,
he's 6'3" and he's dancing.
Right? Did he just go on his head?
I want to get back to your art, and because this is how you're supporting yourself right now with your art, and that's a beautiful thing. I mean, I know there's obviously there's times that are tougher than others, kind of like right now with the global situation.
Yeah, right now I'm going through. Yeah, right now I'm going through a rough part. Even though we're like able to go and tattoo. So yeah, I mean, right now.
Well, real quick, first, what got you into tattooing? Like what sparked that you wanted to, that made you say, you know what? I want to start doing my art on people's
So that
skin.
goes back to your question when you asked me about what kind of got me out of my funk.
Okay.
So I got into tattooing, I don't know, I'd say like 9 years ago. But I would say like even 10 years ago, I was like interested. Like I remember going to Body Revolution because I saw like some ad about like, hey, you want to learn how to tattoo? And I'm like, yeah, that sounds fucking awesome, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I went there and I drew on the application. They want you to draw a picture, a flash on the application, and they call you, do an interview. And I went there, and the guy wanted me to like pierce, which I didn't want to do, and he wanted me to drop like a shit ton of money that I did not have. It was like $4,000 or something like that. And I was like, I don't have that, man. So I pretty much kind of like put that to the wayside as like, I guess everything is, you know, every shop is probably like that.
Yeah. Why did he want you to pierce?
I think he just wanted to have people that were in the shop that were making money from different angles, you know, like learning how to pierce and learning how to tattoo, but also how they
in a sense having multiple streams of revenue coming in.
Yeah. Okay. Not just holding one artist to just doing tattoos. But I'm very glad I didn't work there because the place is not the best. I hate for what I hear.
Oh, okay. All right.
But so I got back into art because I've had a lot of friends that knew me from growing up and knew that I could draw and were like, dude, like, why are you drawing anymore? Like, why are you like, you know, you were drawing flyers for so and so, or you were doing this, or you were doing that, and like, why aren't you drawing anymore? I'm like, I don't know, just because I'm not really feeling it right now. I was trying to do the whole like DJ thing for a while, which is like this like little pipe dream, you know, and I was trying to make it a career and not like a hobby, and I was just kind of like putting like my God-given talent of drawing to the wayside, you know.
I mean, you 100% had the talent to make DJing a career, like 100%.
Oh yeah,
still do to this day.
Yeah, I do. It just really comes down to like producing and like really delving into that. Like I have a bunch of equipment for it now, so I just
nice.
So yeah, my friends were just like, dude, man, like I remember my one friend Seth Mooney was just like, dude, if you don't fucking start drawing again, I'm gonna fucking kick your ass, man.
So it came down to threats.
yeah, threats and just friends being like, dude, man, like what the fuck? I mean, and I just, you know, just kind of realized that, you know, I'm not really, you know, I wasn't, you know, it wasn't the DJing thing how I wanted. It wasn't really going how I wanted to, because I mean, everyone was a DJ. Everyone was getting paid, not so much, you know, like barely getting paid or getting drink tickets. And I was just like, this isn't, you know, like, I mean, I should get back into drawing.
Right.
So I was living with my friend Rob Dorsey at the time, and he
Robot Rob.
Yeah, Kid Robot.
Kid Robot.
Yeah. Shout out to Rob.
Shout out to Kid Robot in the building.
So yeah, he was getting tattooed at this shop, Addicted, and I went there with him, and I just picked the boss's Mark's brain, and then I asked him like, hey, you know, are you looking for an apprenticeship? And he was like, at this current time, I'm not, you know, but so I showed him like the drawings that I had, or the drawings, and also like the tattoos that I did like from home, because my mom got me a tattoo kit, and I was doing like a little bit of tattoos like on the sly and not really realizing how looked down it was.
Yeah.
But I only did a few of them, but I guess like my line work was.
You mean like in-home ones and stuff like that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did it on a few people.
Okay.
I feel so bad for the people that I tattooed.
Do you still talk to any of them?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Some of them I'm like, dude, I owe you a tattoo.
I was about to ask, did you make up for it?
Yeah. Or I'm like, let me fix that up for you, but yeah, I was doing that, and I was learning on like grapefruits and stuff that I would post like a long time ago, and so I showed him all that stuff, and he was like, well, your line work is pretty good. He's like, but you know, right now I don't have anything, but if you need any help with anything, just hit me up. I'll give you any pointers or tips that you need.
Right.
So that helped out a lot. So fast forward to I would say maybe like 6 months. I saw a post that he did, and he was looking for tattoo artists, and I hit him up immediately, and I was like, hey, do you need an apprenticeship or apprentice? And he was like, actually, yeah, if you want to come to the shop, you know, I'll get you in here. We can figure out something.
Really?
Yeah, and work with your schedule.
And this was the boss that you had asked before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he got me in, and I was apprenticing there for about 2 years. This is also a point where it's also like a rough point in my life where I was selling drugs, and I got caught with possession of MDMA, and I was on probation for a while, like a long time, and so at this point I was like balancing me tattoo or learning how to tattoo, which I was tattooing my friends
Right.
who were coming to the shops, and probation, and at the same time with my probation I was like very limited, so I couldn't drive for 2 years. I had to go to meetings every single day for 90 days, and then after that I had to go every other day. I had to have full-time work as well.
Oh, okay.
So by me apprenticing, I wasn't really getting paid. It was just like, my friends giving me money or tipping me and stuff.
So they don't really count that as full-time work, huh?
No, my judge did not agree with me tattooing at all. She was like, you find better work or you find a job where taxes are being taken out or you're going to jail.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So my boss, Mark at the time, being an awesome fucking boss that he was or is, he put me on the payroll. Like he put me on the payroll, like which none of the artists were that. And me being an apprentice, me being on the payroll, that was a lot. It just, he saw a lot of me, and
that's huge.
Like he actually went to a court date with me to like talk to the judge, and he was like, "Hey, like I'm the boss of the shop. He works for me. He's the apprentice." And the judge was like, "I don't care." She was like,
"Really?"
Yeah, she was like, "I don't care. You find work that where there's taxes being taken out, or I'm throwing him in jail." So so again, he put me on the payroll. So then
I feel like that's very not sorry to cut you off. I mean, not to cut you off. I feel like on her part, that's very like
Republican.
Yeah, or very, very like nearsighted, or what's the word? Not blindsided. It's just like, how do you tell somebody who you're doing something positive in your life? You're clearly working.
She doesn't. She didn't agree with tattooing. She didn't like it.
Oh, okay. So she was like her own prejudice.
Yeah, exactly.
Her own prejudices almost sent you back to jail.
Yeah. So the thing is, I was in lieu of conviction, so I had to do all this probation and stuff. And then if I went through it and passed it, I'd have a felony. I wouldn't go to prison. And the thing is, like, her probation was just a bunch of fiery hoops to jump through, that which seemed impossible for me because I was just going through a lot of rough stuff,
Yeah.
So I was trying to balance out that, and Mark got his taxes for the year and realized that he's like, I can't afford to keep you here, man. He's like, I'm paying a lot, so I left the shop. And I went and worked with Seven for a short period of time at his shop, and where True Art Tattoo was at. And I ended up working at True Art because the guys at True Art ended up buying Seven out of his shop. And then I ended up working with John Artist and those guys for a bit. And I feel like I was still apprenticing that way.
Yeah. I was about to ask, had you finished your apprenticeship at this point?
I was still learning a lot. And honestly, in a way, like, I was never even told that my apprenticeship was even over. Like, it was just like, oh, you're just tattooing right now. And the thing is, like, there's a lot of things that I didn't even learn in my apprenticeship that I should have learned, that I'm still learning to this day, because my apprenticeship was so haphazardly, just stapled and sewn and put together.
I mean, it was probably a pretty unique situation.
Yeah, I didn't have a typical apprenticeship as a lot of artists had, and I mean, I'm still learning a lot to this day. So
right.
But yeah, I mean, so throughout that, I mean, I ended up working at CLE Clothing Company for 3 years from when they opened.
I didn't know that. You worked at Cleveland Clothing Company?
Yeah, I was there.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I was there when they opened. I was there for, I think, about 2-3 years. And
okay.
And also at the same time, I'm still apprenticing or tattooing everywhere.
Yeah.
I was, man, my whole story with that is so crazy.
So you were crazy multitasking.
Yeah, while also trying to multitask my life,
Yeah, crazy. Yeah.
So throughout that, I was riding my bike to CLA Clothing Company, and then also getting rides to whatever apprenticeship or whatever shop that I was at.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a point in time where I got caught driving because I couldn't drive for 2 years, but
right.
But apparently that was only suspended through the court, not the BMV. So I called the BMV once, and they're like, "You're valid to drive." Oh. And I'm like, so I drove.
Yeah.
So I drove my friend drunk back to my house, and I passed a malfunctioning red light and got pulled over.
Your friend was drunk. You weren't drunk.
No, well, I was kind of drunk, but I was like very close to my house.
Yeah.
But I passed a malfunctioning red light, and they pulled me over. Thank God they didn't give me a DUI at all. But that went to my PO, and my PO was like, "So why were you driving?" I was like, "Well, because the BMV said I was valid to drive." So and she's like, "No, it's the court." So I was like, "I don't understand that."
Yeah, that's really weird that the courts can just decide that that you can't drive.
The thing is, the judge that I had was also like one of the four horsemen in Cleveland. If you heard of the four horsemen of judges,
no, I'm not hip.
There's like four judges that are just like they will stroke you like, and
really
they have no fucking mercy. And the judge that I had was like one of the top.
Oh God.
Yeah, Kathleen Satula. She was like,
is she still a judge right now?
I think she stepped down this year.
Okay.
Thank God, man.
Thank God.
Yeah. So
she was the one that was like, "Nah, you're not allowed to tattoo, or else I'm sending you to jail."
Yeah. She's like, "Find a real job, or you're going to jail." And the thing is, I moved I moved from shop to shop, and like there's, I had bosses that were like, "You know what? I'll help you out with this. I'll fill out paperwork, or I'll have my person assistant do paperwork for you, so we can, show something."
Yeah.
And they never did. Or it was like half-assed, or it wasn't enough for my judge.
Yeah.
And
I feel like almost nothing would have been enough for that judge.
Yeah, not at all. Well, the thing is also, there's a point in the story where she just honestly just hates me, because there's a point where, so I was going to meetings every single day.
Right.
It got to a point where I was going every other day, but I wasn't really going. I had these stamps that my friend had made me, that he made himself for his meetings, which, I would just stamp this stamp or these stamps on this thing and bring it to the PO. I mean, they can't prove it because it's anonymous, right? So it got down to where I was just using this one stamp because I thought this one stamp was for this one place that I was going to, right?
Right.
But ended up finding out that this one stamp was for a Sunday meeting at that place, and I wasn't going for Sundays. Man. So the PO kind of caught me up in that, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah, that's not good.
So she was like, well, the judge wants you to go to court, blah, blah. So I'm like, well, and I was like, well, I'm going. And I had someone come and like help vouch for me that was actually doing like meetings there.
Yeah.
I won't say who it is.
Yeah, don't throw him under the bus.
Yeah. But I mean, he came to court with me, and the judge like showed him like all these like slips of like the same stamp, and he was just like, she's like, well, how do you explain this or this or this or this or this? And he's just like, ugh. He's like, well, I mean, he's here, and like the PO also had to. She brought in the guy that runs the meetings at Stella Maris to like vouch for her and kind of like figure out what's going on with these stamps.
Oh fuck!
And he was even like kind of like covering for me because my dude was like, just say that he's here. I gotta help him out.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. Like she pretty much charged me for the whole driving thing because that was like the same date.
Yeah.
Finding out about the driving thing and then the stamp thing. So
yeah,
she couldn't like prove all the things with the stamps. Like, but she just figured out that I was like in cahoots with them.
Yeah.
And found me guilty for the driving thing, and
which is so weird. That's still so random to me that you can be, that the court can decide that you're not allowed to drive.
Yeah, I never knew that.
But I never knew that. BMV never suspended.
Or maybe it's just like some weird like side fucking shady thing that she has going on, or she had going on.
It had to have been. I mean, like, I don't see how that can be part of your probation. Like, okay, well, while you're on probation, you're not allowed to drive because that your driving had nothing to do with drugs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
at all.
So she obviously violated you when about the driving.
Yeah, so she had me start over my probation all over again.
Oh,
okay. So it was 4 years total now.
Okay.
So
now at this point, how long had you been on it?
I was probably like towards the end.
Okay.
I think I was like a year and a half.
Okay.
So yeah, I had to start all over again, and so the thing was, I was also at CLE Clothing Company at that time. So she was kind of okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was showing her the pay stubs, and I was peeing clean, and I was paying off all like my restitution, court fines, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I also had a new probation officer because my in lieu PO I didn't have her anymore. I had someone new.
Right.
So she was pretty cool. I paid off all of my court fines and court costs and all that stuff, and I was peeing clean. And she was trying to get me off early because I did everything, and I was, in the good, and my judge was just like, no.
Really?
Probably because she couldn't prove stuff and just was trying to make an example, And I mean, I had to do my whole probation, but I got down to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to jail. I know it. I just feel it. Like something's going to happen. So I ended up missing a meeting one time, and usually, like, I mean, I've missed a couple, and then and my PO would also call me that same day and be like, "Hey, you missed your appointment. Come through tomorrow, or call me, and I would come through."
Yeah.
So I missed that meeting. I called her, didn't answer, left messages, never called me back.
Your PO never called you back?
Yeah,
okay,
not at all. So at that point, I was like, "There's something going on." I was feeling that like my judge was like, if he fucks up or does something small, like it's done.
Oh wow.
So this is also a time where I was working at Empire Inc. in Cuyahoga Falls, which is fucking far from where I lived at, and also I couldn't drive. The trek of me getting there at this point. So I was at Empire twice. The first time I was at Empire, I had to. My roommate worked in Brecksville. She drove me to my mom's house in Maple Heights. Jason Hager would pick me up from where he lived at in Garfield, and he would take me to work in Cuyahoga Falls because he worked there as well.
Wow.
Whenever he left, I would leave with him, and I would go back to my mom's house, and I would take the bus all the way from Maple Heights back to Lakewood area.
Damn.
All the time. And it didn't last. That first stint didn't last very long because I was like, this is way too much.
How long of a bus ride is that?
Fucking long. I don't know.
Maple Heights is like what, a 30, 40 minute drive?
The thing is even if catching the bus, like I had to catch it in time, and that would take me to downtown, and I'd take downtown to Lakewood. All that, but even there was times where my mom helped me out, and she would take me back home, but I didn't want to do that because I would come home kind of late too, and she was like tired, so it was rough, man. So then the second time I was at Empire Inc., things are cool, but there's a time where it was December 3rd, and I was coming home from work, and I got pulled over, and it was snowing, and the guy was like, "You have a warrant for your arrest."
Whoa!
And I was like, "What?" And I'm like, "For what? I mean, what for?" And the guy was like, "He's like, I have no idea." It's like, it says PV. He's like, "Did you violate your probation?" And I'm like, "Well, I missed a meeting." And he's like, "That's probably it." He's like, "If you missed a meeting and like you didn't talk to your PO or something, you have a warrant."
Even though you tried calling her.
Yeah, the thing is that she didn't call back, and I feel like it's something that was said between the judge and her.
Yeah,
because,
at that point they were in cahoots with each other.
Yeah, because she was so all about getting me off early. She was like, I mean, she was a very cool person too. And then for that to just shift, I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So from that point,
and that's a hell of a pivot to go from okay, we're trying to get you out of here early. We're trying to get this done quicker to not returning calls.
Yeah.
And I feel like returning calls is part of the job. Like, you're making an effort, but they're just like, nope. At that point, it was decided he's going to jail.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like she wanted to make an example because the whole thing that, the whole cahoots thing, which whatever. Yeah. But, so from that point, he impounded my car, took me to county. I couldn't get out because if you have a PV, you can't bail out.
Yeah.
So I was in county for about 13 days, and this whole time that I'm in there, I'm thinking this whole spiel and story to tell the judge when I get in front of her and and my mom and grandma got me a attorney or lawyer, what the fuck, and he wasn't very good. He kind of came there the day of my court date and was like, okay, so you're gonna say this, I'm like, you don't want to hear my side of the story or what's going on or blah blah. He's like, no, he's like, you'll be fine. So
really, that's what he's going with.
Yeah. He didn't think that I would be sentenced.
Yeah.
So I had this, like I said, I had this whole like story. So once I get into the front of the courtroom and she sits down and she just looks at me, she looks at the papers, and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna need to get sentencing papers right now." And I just like kind of buckle, and I just start like I just lost my whole train of thought of what I would say. I was like, I'm about to get sentenced, and she's just like, I've been giving you gift after gift after gift after gift, and you just keep messing up. So she's like, you're gonna go to jail for a year. Wow. And like my mom, my grandma, my girlfriend at the time, Olivia, were like in the back, and then I'm just like looking back. I'm like, fuck, and they're crying, and I'm just like.
It seems like she said it with such joy as well.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel like she felt so good saying it. The thing is, like making that whole like analogy of gifts when it was like close to Christmas.
Yeah, that's messed up too.
So you're tossing me in jail for Christmas, and you just have like no heart at all.
Fuck.
So so I ended up going to jail. I went to Lorraine for a bit, and then I went to Mansfield camp to finish my sentence.
And did you do the full year or?
No, I mean,
basically you did the whole year.
So if you're in prison, based on like your case, if you go to school, you can get anywhere up to like a day or to 5 days off of your sentence if you go to school and you like or you pass that semester or whatever it is. Okay. The school there was super like hokey.
Okay.
But I got days off. I got 1 day off because my case was like it didn't fit that whole 5 day off thing. Right. So which kind of sucked, but whatever. But regardless, I got out Thanksgiving Eve. So that was still cool. But
so wait a minute, was it a day off for every?
A day off for like every like quarter that you go to school.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant if you go to school, they'll give you a day off. Like, and
no.
that's it. So you got for every quarter you went to school,
so
you got a day taken off of your sentence.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I didn't fully finish it, but I mean, honestly, like it wasn't that bad, and honestly, I feel like I needed it.
Okay.
I feel like it was a reset for me to kind of like really figure out like what the fuck I'm doing with my life, because at that point in time, I had just a lot of stuff going on that I didn't want to have going on in my life. You know, like I was drinking all the time. I didn't want to drink. I wanted to like get in shape. Like I wanted to not have the stress of probation on my shoulders anymore.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to get a reset in my life, and how I was living before. I was just getting drunk all the time and not really thinking about it, pushing down all of that shit from like pushing down everything,
Yeah.
So, and that's how it manifested,
And you continued tattooing in prison, correct?
Yeah. So what happened was, so while I was in like county, while I was in Lorraine, I was like that guy that was like drawing for people, like as I was in school.
Right.
I was drawing for people. I was drawing on people's like envelopes they can send out to their family and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so from that, they'd pay me stuff from commissary or whatever.
Right.
So
as it works in prison.
Yeah. So everyone that was in Lorraine was like, "Yo, I can't. I hope I'm where you're at whenever you get sentenced, or where you get sentenced, because I want to get tattoos from you." And I'm like, okay. I don't want to get tattooed, or I was like, I don't want to tattoo while I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to be the guy that just draws for people.
Yeah.
And then I had the idea that I was like, well, maybe I'll find the person that is good, like the best tattooer at the prison, and just like maybe do something with them where I'm like, hey, maybe I can draw you designs and you tattoo them, and I'll get like a cut of what you do.
Yeah.
So
some chips or something.
Yeah, something, yeah, right. Some ramen noodles.
Yeah,
like,
get Cheetos.
Yeah, get me in on a break. So, I got to Mansfield, and I saw some people that I was in Lorraine with. They're like, "Oh shit, like they already knew that I was coming, because like whenever like when new intakes come in, there's a bunch of people that are up front hanging out with the CO, like seeing who's coming in, waiting for mail, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
who's getting a visit. So they already knew that I was coming. So when I came there, it was like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna tattoo me up, right? You're gonna tattoo me up, right?" I'm like, "No, I'm not tattooing anybody." And so I had that whole idea, finding the best tattoo artist there. And I was like, "Yo, so who tattoos here? Who, like, where they at? Who can I talk to? Who's good? Who's the best?"
Right.
And there was no one there that was really that good at all.
Really?
Everybody was pretty. Everyone was straight boo-boo trash.
Just trash.
Dude.
3 fire emoji trash.
Dude, for real. So, yeah, I mean, it wasn't long until people kind of talked me into tattooing because I just realized that I'm like, I can make a lot of like, commissary, or I can like live comfortably being here. So, the one guy told me, he's like, instead of like, people giving you commissary or paying you that way, you can also just like have someone on the outside get a green dot card, like a green dot loader card. And then there's people that pay you with like green dot numbers, green dot, like for a certain amount,
Oh, okay.
So the thing is, and like I was the thing is, I was like, all right, y'all, I'll tattoo, but I'm charging like kind of like somewhat tattoo prices.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I do a bunch of detail work, and honestly, like, I mean, I didn't want to do stencils because the stencils there were garbage.
Yeah.
So I got into the arts and crafts program thing, which was at Richfield because they didn't have it at Mansfield. So I was able to get like art supplies sent. So my mom and my grandma, they sent me like markers. I had a subscription to Juxtapose magazine. Mm-hmm. So all those markers I used to straight up just freehand on everybody.
Okay.
So there was no stencil.
So how did you get your ink and stuff? Did you have to make it?
Yeah, you got to make it.
Oh,
I mean, there were like small, like little bottles of color there that people had like plugged and got in there, which I would never use because they're like really shitty, like dark colors or like just colors. I'm not going to use a bubblegum pink.
So you were like the bougie prison tattoo artist.
Yeah. Dude,
they probably weren't used to that.
Dude, they made me my ink. They made me my little like tattoo machine thing.
Really?
Yeah. The thing is, I was like, if I'm tattooing, I'm not making this shit. You guys are fucking making this shit for me.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. Oh, shit.
They were like, bet, because I mean, like I had like all these little cardboard pieces that I was just doodling and drawing on while I was in Lorraine. I had like 6 of them. And they were looking at my shit. And they're like, "Oh, hell yeah, I'm getting tattooed by Eve." Oh, wow. I'm like, cool, man. Well, it's gonna be like $200 or for this or The thing is, like, I did big pieces in there, like stuff that I never thought that I would be doing. Like I did sleeve, really? I did a chest piece, like a leg sleeve. I did like big, like kind of bigger pieces.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like picking it up there, like the first few tattoos, like I was straight garbage. Like, so everyone's like, "Oh, you're a tattoo artist, right?" I'm like, "No, for real, I am." I'm like, "Dude, this is like really hard to like, this is a huge learning curve."
Yeah.
Learning how to
I mean, going from an actual machine to like a homemade.
Yeah, to learning how to tattoo with a single needle guitar string that was like sharpened by sandpaper on a fan. Yeah, but the thing is, and if you didn't make it right, like your tube would like spit ink out. It wouldn't suck it in. So there's times where I'm like, "Yo, you need to go make another needle. I can't tattoo you right now." Whatever. Yeah. But I had a whole a whole system,
So you were kind of a tattoo artist in a traditional sense, because I know originally the tattoo tools were made by the person getting tattooed, and then the tattooer is the one that would tap it in there. But you had to make your own tattoo instruments.
People would use for like machines. People would find like a CD player motor, or they would find a beer trim motor. The beer trim motor had a little more power to it.
Yeah.
But you also had to find like an adapter, like a power supply that would switch volts, so you can kind of like go light or go harder. Wow. The thing is that they were hard to find. Oh, okay. So either you had to find it from someone that was like leaving, that was tattooing, like buy their little kit, and then like people there that were making money that would just make needles or make
the supplies.
Yeah, they would make the needle. They would make the ink for so and so while they had their own little side hustles going on.
I mean, I would think like if you're good at making it, you might as well make some money.
Yeah,
might as well make some money doing it.
I mean, the thing is, like the second tattoo I did, I got caught.
Really?
Yeah.
And how serious is that?
Because I think that whoever narked on me, whoever saw like they probably saw me as like a threat or something.
So one of the other tattooers in there?
Yeah, or someone did, So, I mean, because the thing is how they caught me, like I was like tattooing right at like the corner of this area, and like how they pretty much just came right at a point. Like one came through this door, one came down the hall, and they were like, they just pinpointed me like, "Oh, so tattooing?" And I was like, "Whoa." I was like, "Yeah." was like totally like I was like shit. So the person that I tattooed, he had so if you get tattooed, if you're getting a tattoo, you have to get tested to see if if you caught anything.
Yeah.
On my end, I didn't have to take a test,
Mm-hmm.
so the one guy asked me, he was like, so how long you in here for? And I was like, a year. And he was like, well, don't get caught again. Because I fessed up and I was like, yeah, I mean, you caught me tattooing. I was tattooing.
Yeah.
I had my gloves on. Like, I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Like literally all the evidence is there.
Yeah. You straight up caught me.
Yeah.
Like needle and skin.
Smoking gun.
yeah. Pretty much, So from then on, I mean, like, yeah, like I kind of didn't tattoo for a little bit and then I started again. And I kind of just ended up getting cool with the CO that was there, like one of the main COs.
Mm-hmm.
And like I drew him a tattoo design for him to get while he was like, on the outs.
Right.
And he came back and showed me, blah, blah. And like from then on, like I was cool in his book. So like he was like kind of like, he knew that I was tattooing still.
Oh,
and,
okay.
and like everyone knew that I was tattooing, but they kind of just didn't. They just turned their eye, because I also ended up helping. Well, I ended up doing art in the hallways for them. Like they.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they wanted script work, so I ended up drawing script for like the visitor center, for the library, for the commissary hall, for the child hall.
Nice.
I ended up doing this like big like Toys for Tots box for like the warden that the warden was doing for like his church or something, and he was like, what do you want for this? And I was like, well, I want my good days that it shows that I'm not getting on the little computer JPay thing that we had, because I was like really stressing about my good days. I was like, I want to get out fucking Thanksgiving Eve. I want to get out.
Yeah.
So I got that, and then I got like a single bunk because I was like bunking with someone. I wanted like my own fucking bed.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's kind of even for just safety or your own sanity, it's kind of better. To have
it just
your own
sucks
room.
like bunking up with somebody that's like annoying. It's just. But yeah, I ended up being in like the one like hall or street that it's just a bunch of people that were just kind of chill, or it's like or tattooers are working at and stuff. So people knew I was doing, but like they kind of turned their cheek
a little bit.
because I was doing stuff for them, But yeah, it came to a point where I was tattooing there, and I was just really over it. I was like, the last 4 months I stopped.
And really?
Yeah, I was done. I did everyone. I finished everyone that was in like my queue because I had like a little system. Like, they would give me a number. I'd call.
You were basically running a shop in there.
Yeah. So like, so people would give me a loader number. I would call mom. I'm like, mom, I have a number. And she would like call it. She would write it down, call the number on the other phone, and make sure that the amount that they said was on that was the right amount.
Right.
Some people gave me like fake numbers, just hoping that I would just tattoo them,
Oh, okay.
But for the most part, everyone sent the right amount of money.
Yeah.
And from being in there, I made like $1,000 to like go towards like whenever I got out, get me back on my feet, like phone, like start saving money for like car or something, whatever. The thing is, I could have made way more money in there, for that last 4 months, because people were like thirsty as fuck. They knew I was getting ready to leave. They wanted work done. They were like willing to pay whatever. And I was like, I don't care. I'm like, I don't want to go through this stress every day until I get out. And then I end up hating tattooing.
Yeah.
Like people were like blowing down.
And especially
every day.
when you're about to get out, because if you do get, I mean, I know they knew that you were doing it, but when you're getting close to getting out, man, if you do get caught, they could add time to your sentence.
They wouldn't do that.
Oh, they weren't interested in doing that.
No, they wouldn't. If you did something serious, they would move you to like another. If you like you did something more violent or something, they would move you to like the walls, like or like another place.
So what would have been, had they caught you again? What would have been the punishment, if you will?
I think I get like a write up, or they put you like in the hole or something.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I never got put in the hole at all.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, I had like a whole business thing going on. But the thing is, like that the last 4 months, I wanted to just get like my mind right. I wanted to like just like focus on just like working out, like walking the track, and just kind of like just like having my own self time and stuff. People like blowing down on me like every day, like, yo, I want to get this done. Like, how much? And I was over it.
Yeah.
I was over like the needles not working or stuff breaking. I was so frustrated.
The janky equipment.
Yeah, I was so frustrated. I just didn't want to leave and hate what I like doing,
Did you face any resentment when you decided to stop? Were there people that were getting angry at you, or were they just more thirsty to get work by you?
I mean, they weren't really angry because, I mean, aside from me being like the tattoo guy, I mean, I was pretty much cool with everybody there. I mean, I wasn't fighting anyone.
Right.
They understood, but they were still just like, yo, but like, you know, come on, like we're homies, like, you know, like, I mean, you know, like I'm your bunkie, I'm your past bunkie, like, yeah, we got along, like, you know, help me out. And I'm like, no.
No.
Yeah, I mean, there's a point where I was kind of going to, because someone offered me like $800 to do like this like dragon wrap around their leg, but I was like, I just don't want to like. I mean, like figuring out the right time to do it, and like, I'm like you got to do it when like certain CEOs are working that didn't walk as much, that didn't really care, and that in itself is just more stress, being on top of the compounded stress of being in there and being over like being in there. Like I was so irritated in there and depressed, but I mean, thank God I had people that were like writing me and people and like my family that came to visit, like that was like the support that I needed, you know. And like talking on the phone to friends, like I would call friends that were like out, you know, they were out doing their thing, and like they would answer like, "Oh, it's Andre's," and fucking, and I talked to whoever it was. I mean, that helped me out a lot. So
for sure, especially that I would imagine that would help get through those last few months as well.
Yeah, but when it gets down to that last 90 days, it is like, oh my God, like I feel
a
like
lot of people say that's the hardest. That's the hardest time to do. Yeah,
man. Like
time goes slow as hell.
Drags. Like each day, you're like just freaking out. Like,
did you find yourself wanting to sleep more just to get through some of the day?
I did. I slept. I just ended like I would just like walk the track, like because you can go outside. I would walk the track as much as I could, or
just to pass the time.
Yeah. Because I mean I was working out too, so I would like, you know, there's like a little workout thing. There's like every little like light pillar you would do like, you know, push-ups at each one. There's like 6 of them around this whole track. Okay. So I would do that, do something, and then I learned how to play handball. So I was playing handball with a bunch of people in there, and that helped me like get in shape too. So that passed the time until, you know, like for the day. And then like whenever we were like, you know, we had to press our bunk and just chill, I would just like watch TV because you could get TVs there. Yeah. So I just watch TV and just chill. And people would be like, yo, so you want a tattoo? Are you sure? I'm like
kept asking.
Yeah, I'm like, leave me the fuck alone.
You're like, the answer is no.
Yeah. Like, no.
Let me ask you, how much longer does it take to do a tattoo there with the equipment that you had available to you? How much longer does it take to do that than to do it with like the proper equipment?
A long time.
Is it?
Yeah, because I mean, it just depends on like what kind of tattoo you're doing, you know, like.
Well, I mean, you do pretty intricate stuff. So.
Yeah, so on top of me doing a lot of intricate detail work, I was freehanding on everybody. I didn't, you know, like I didn't just slap on a stencil that people were passing around and doing the same stuff. I was freehanding it, which could take me like 2 hours or more. Like, I mean, there's times where I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna have you come to my bunk around this time, you know, like after breakfast, and then I'm gonna draw on you for like 2 hours. After we have lunch, I'm gonna tattoo you until I can. I'm gonna at least get like the outline in, so I know everything is laid out. So when I come back in, I can go in and start doing like the shading or more details or whatever. So doing all that is like really hard to do whenever you have a single needle. Like you don't have a shader to where you can just like punch color in. You gotta like fucking like kind of like scratch it in and layer it and man. It was fucking. I mean, it was such a huge learning curve, but it helped me like learn how to be more comfortable with like freehanding stuff. Yeah. And it also helped me get comfortable with learning how to do like fine line stuff, because I mean I love doing fine line stuff. Yeah. Or just like a lot of things with like a lot of detail and like textures and whatever. So it took me a lot more time to finish.
I can only imagine.
I mean, there's times where like, I mean, I gave people a price for like their like tattoo and got the green dot for however much, and I was like, dude, I should have charged way more than this. But again, I'm like, I'm also in prison, and everyone else doesn't have like money, like, you know, coming out their ass. Some people just didn't have any support system or anyone helping them out.
Yes, I feel like that happens a lot.
Yeah, and they were doing what they could do to like just have extra food. You know, they would work in the kitchen and just bring back those like nasty as round pizzas or hamburgers and just sell it to people that still wanted to eat or wanted something to eat late or something to eat, you know, after they worked out because they didn't have money or whatever. Yeah. So Yeah, I didn't like gouge everybody, but I did charge people.
Yeah. I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
It's so crazy. I tattooed 2 people, that I tattooed in prison. I tattooed them at the shop.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm like, God damn. I'm like, I need a. I'm like, I mean, they came back to get everything like actually like finished and like done the right way, which is cool. So
yeah,
it felt good to bring some designs back to life that
to clean them up a little bit.
Yeah, like a lot.
So where are you at now with tattooing? Your passion is back for it now. Are you enjoying it now?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I mean, I still have like artist blocks, and I'm not sure if it's because of like the whole COVID thing and just like being stressed out and like just anxiety and just like the whole like newfound stuff that I'm like kind of like flushing up and like stripping away with like the whole therapy thing. So recently I tweaked my neck really bad like 3 weeks ago, and it's still somewhat sore. It's somewhat better right now, but I've been out of work for like the last 3 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I've just been like going off of like unemployment right now. On top of that, I got let go of the new shop that I was at American Tattoo Studio. Not my fault. It's not because of my neck or anything. It's because the owner in the business or the shop or the building owner over the shop that we're at is just kind of like fucking up stuff for the shop, and my boss is like hemorrhaging money into like this part of the shop when he's also trying to keep a shop afloat at this new shop that he opened up. So he had to let 4 artists go, and I understand. I'm not mad at him at all.
Yeah.
Like I totally get why he did it. So right now, I'm not really tattooing, and I mean I haven't been drawing for the time I haven't been tattooing because my neck just hurts. Like I couldn't like look down, or like it was so bad.
Have you seen a chiropractor for that?
Actually, I just went and saw this girl Danelle Warner that works at Antidote Therapies over in North Olmsted. Plug to her because she is a fucking healing wizard.
Really,
dude. She was like doing things that like I never heard of. She was like doing like organ like movement where she was like moving stuff around and like just really like tapping into like trigger stuff that I was like oh, I had a pain there and you just touched it and I'm like it kind of just like oozed away.
Yeah.
I recommend her.
Where is she at? What's her name and where is she at?
Her name is Danelle Warner.
Okay.
And she works at Antidote Therapies. Yeah. It's over, I think it's like 21800 Lorraine Road.
I'll throw a link in the description when I upload this. I'll throw it. Just make sure that you get me the link and
yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
dude, she's a straight wizard, man. Like I'm definitely gonna go to her probably like once a month, if not like every other week. Because I mean, it's her and a doctor, and they're both super super nice. I went there with Lauren too. Lauren's gonna get seen by her too because Lauren needs some fucking love on her back right now.
Oh really?
But yeah, she has it way worse than I do.
Oh wow.
She has like 13 degenerative like discs. Like she's like in rough shape.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, that one session has like helped out immensely. And so from that, back to the tattooing thing, I am gonna go to Drop Dead.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's my homie shop.
I know. I remember a long time ago.
Originally, that's the shop I wanted you to go to.
I remember a long time ago. You're like, yo, hit up BC. Man.
Yeah,
blah, blah.
I've been telling you, man. I think you'll like it there. I think you'll like it there a lot.
Right
now, I believe Will and Tina are running it. Tina's the homie. Tina Gregg.
I haven't met Tina. Well, my one friend, Tina Sakanic, she was working there. But
she was out there for a little while.
Yeah, she's leaving there now. She's going to work at the shop at Mansfield. And I think I'm going to share a booth or a room with Brett. I don't know Brett. I
don't know if I've met Brett. So I know Tina, I know Will, I know Blaine. Obviously, Blaine is the main owner.
Yeah, I remember meeting Blaine very briefly with you guys when we all went to Hustler or something like that.
Yeah.
It was very briefly, but I know Rick M is there, and like I love Rick's work.
Yeah,
I mean I'm pretty pumped to work there. Also, my friend Caitlin works there.
Okay, Jake is out there still.
Jake
we just told a story about Jake, how he couldn't get into a massage place because he didn't look old enough, even though he was 22.
Oh yeah,
because he looks like a.
I hear stories.
Like a young girl.
I hear stories about Jake, I guess, being like a douchebag or something like that, but I don't even know him like that. So
he's a nice enough guy. He has. I mean,
everyone
has
their stories. Yeah. You know, everyone has their.
I used to go to. You know, what's weird about funny thing about Jake is he would randomly like hit me up and be like, hey, I'm going to the casino. You want to go? And I'd be like, all right. Me and him used to like just go to the casino at like 2, 3 in the morning, literally randomly.
That's crazy.
My first time ever going to a casino was with Blaine. Blaine was like, yo, I'm going to the casino. You want to go? I was like, all right. And this is before the casino was here in Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Went to fucking West Virginia.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you'll like it there, man. It's a solid shop for sure.
Yeah, Blaine seems really cool. I mean, from what I've heard from like you and Tina and like Caitlin and everyone, and I was like, dude, he's like the most laid back.
Yeah, he's super chill.
Yeah, like he's barely there, I guess. But
well, he moved out of the state.
Yeah,
and, right now
he's in Cape Coral,
in
Florida.
Yeah, and right now Tina, the other Tina Gregg, and Will Delgado, they're running the shop now.
Yeah, I haven't met Will either, but
Will's a solid. You'll love Will. Will's a solid guy. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
He is hilarious, and you got to catch him on live freestyling. He can't rap a lick, but when he freestyles, boy.
Honestly, I'm going to go there.
Yeah, it's definitely something special.
I'm going to go there and be like, yo, so Thaiger says that you're like a fucking like Matt lyricist.
He'll be when we stream later, he'll be in the chat.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he'll be in the chat for sure. Tina will probably be in the chat. They'll all be in the chat, actually.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, man. Like, honestly, and also, like, it's booth rent, which I really like.
Yeah.
I mean, my first booth rent experience was working with Civic Classic, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. I'm making, like, a lot more money here.
Yeah. And so, I'm glad that you're out there because like we said, like that was originally the place that I wanted you to go to.
I mean,
I guess, it's like all full circle. Oh, that's pun. Don't worry, he'll come in once we're done.
Who the fuck?
Yeah,
I'm like, is that your neighbor?
Yeah, it's all full circle now. So you're finally at Drop Dead.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I haven't started yet. I still have to move all my stuff out of the half of the shop because they're shutting the whole area down.
When are you doing that? Do you need help? I'll come help you.
I mean, honestly, if you want to help, I probably need it because my neck is still tweaked. And I know Lauren's helping me. Yeah, and then that's really about it. But
yeah, I got you, man. Say no more.
But yeah, so probably I would say late next week.
Yeah,
because I have to like get everybody that I had to push back like situated again.
Yeah,
and I have to like honestly knock out a bunch of drawings that I didn't do because I just.
So late next week, you're starting at Drop Dead, or
probably late next week. I'm gonna start because.
So by the time people are seeing this, you'll have started at Drop Dead.
I mean, when are you posting this?
Probably like after the weekend. So
okay.
Yeah.
I'll be getting situated probably like early next week and then starting. So
okay. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I'm gonna have Tina. I'm going to have Tina do some work on me, and then obviously I'm going to have you do some work on me because...
Yeah, you've been saying that forever.
I've been saying it for the longest time, man. But you see, I'm still bare. You see, I haven't... So Blaine did this.
Yeah, the Donkey Kong, right?
Yeah, the Donkey Kong, which I love. And
for a long time, didn't you?
Yeah. He was the first person to ever put color on me, which I love.
Yeah, that red, yeah.
Yeah,
red.
So I'm definitely going to have to have you do something and Tina do something.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Get Will to do something. Just something by everybody that I know there.
Yeah.
Just to, because they're friends of the channel.
Yeah, I haven't got a tattoo in a bit. I'm trying to get my back finished.
I mean, you have a lot of work done on you.
Well, I'm getting my back finished. I have one more session done with Chad, and then I'm gonna think of like other. I mean, I have ideas for areas, but I don't want to be the person that like sticks to getting tattooed by people that are out here that are good. I want to travel.
Yeah,
there's an artist that like I want to like fly to and like put out money, get a hotel, and like be like, yo, dude.
I feel like those are the ones you got to make an appointment for.
Oh yeah, and drop down like
you can't just stroll in there.
No, that's definitely not a walk-in. So, which means also like whenever like you make an appointment, there's definitely more work going into that design than a walk-in. I feel like artists feel like rushed to just like churn out that quick design.
Yeah. I mean, if you make an appointment, that means you're kind of serious about it. If you're just walking in, it could be just a on a whim kind of thing, and they're like, all right, they might not put their best foot forward. Yeah. But you make an appointment, and it's like you've given it some thought. This is what you've decided to do, and they're gonna.
But some people just want those like those one shot tattoos, which is nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah.
Those are more like. People get them done for like memories, like they best friend.
I feel like they're always addictive though. Like no matter what, you're going to get another one.
Once you get one, like the floodgates are opening, and then all the ideas are flooding, and you're like, oh, maybe
I don't personally know anyone with just one tattoo. You know what I mean? Like even if they have a bunch of like tiny ones that you can't even see, there's more than one. You know what I mean?
The thing is, it's so weird seeing like nowadays. There's a lot of people that just have. I mean, I feel like the new thing, and with like younger people is getting like all like just the black work, but like all like this tiny tattoos, just places.
Yeah, just a bunch of random stuff.
Yeah, like no theme, but just like oh, that's cool. Put it on me. I mean, the thing is, I mean, I've done the same thing too, but I mean. We were all young ones.
I mean, I got Donkey Kong on me. I've never played a Donkey Kong game.
I did not know that.
Yeah, dude, I've never played a Donkey Kong game. Never once.
Yeah, I mean, like the tattoos I got, some are stupid, but I mean, in a way, they have like some sort of meaning to it. But I mean, some people are like, "Oh, why do you have a fucking rooster foot on you?" I'm like,
because I want a fucking rooster.
I'm like one. I'm like Chinese zodiac. You're the rooster. They're like, "Oh, okay, I get it." They're like, "Oh, I thought it was like a dragon claw. I thought it was that. Why do you have that?" I'm like.
Tina's gonna make a robot taco for me. Well, she already drew one.
A robaco?
A robaco, yeah. She already drew one, and then I think she lost it, but she's gonna do it again, and that's one of the things I'm gonna get is because one time we were talking and I said something, and I think she thought I said robot taco, and I didn't.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's a thing now. she's like, you should get that tattooed. I was like, draw it up, I'll get it. And she drew one up. I'm pretty sure she probably still has it.
Yeah, she's probably just waiting for you to come through because
no. This time it's not me. a pandemic happened.
Yeah,
and they were shut down for a while, and then once they opened back up, dude, it's been busy.
How long is? Blaine told me. Blaine told me he's like, he's like, we don't really have walk-in traffic. Well, because we really can't have walk-ins, but we can do like same-day appointments if you call. And if someone's available, we'll get you in. So. Yeah,
and I've known Tina since before she started tattooing.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I've known Tina.
Yeah, I don't know Tina at all.
She like we've all Pun and Cam and all of us, we've been friends with her forever. And I mean, so is Blaine. Like Blaine used to do work on her, and then she was always a good artist. Right. And then she started. I think she apprenticed under.
What
Blaine.
Did Blaine just started like, why don't you get that tattoo?
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool.
He was probably like, yo, you should probably start tattooing. And then she started, being around the shop apprenticing, and then started tattooing. She made a lot of progress in a short amount of time. Man, she's actually really good too. Yeah,
I feel like if you were been tattooing for so long and you haven't progressed anyway, you really should just put the needle down.
Just let it go.
Just do art.
It's like that with almost anything. Like people that have been DJing for years and they still can't match beats. It's like, dude,
I'm like, how are you been DJing for like fucking 15 years and you're like wrecking?
Yeah.
And like you think your shit's hot.
Oh my God. You know what? There's a lot of that in like the club scene, man. There's a lot of DJs that aren't great.
Everyone's a DJ now.
Yeah, everyone is a DJ.
I mean, granted, like right now, I'm teaching Lauren how to DJ, and she has a musical background, so she's picking it up very quick. I'm like,
but that's more organic. That's
very organic.
Yeah, that's like okay. She's
not like
she's dating.
Yeah,
she's dating a DJ. She's already into music, and then you're sharing knowledge as couples do. You know what I mean? So it's like that makes sense. It's not like she just decided one day, you know what, I want to be popular, so I'm going to start playing music.
She's not even doing it for that. She's just like, I just like the music. Like I'm understanding where it's coming from. Like I played like Maestro, like all of those like documentaries on house music, and she's like, and
that's where it started. A love for music is where it starts. Like, that's the basis. For
her mom also was like very huge in a disco, before she passed. So she's like really connected to like the disco house and like the funky stuff. So yeah, like she's getting really good. Like
that's a beautiful thing.
She breaks it down like way more like her sets are like. How she mixes, like she'll like write notes and be like, "Oh, this song sounded good. This song sounded good here."
Wow, she goes that deep.
Dude, she's going deep with it, and like I never did that.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you did. I feel like you did. It's just we never wrote. So like
I went more with like feeling and just like
it's a mental note as opposed to writing it down.
Mental note, yeah.
And you know what? She'll be at that point once she's doing it more. She'll be at the point because we've been doing it. I mean, we've been DJing for so long that we don't need to make notes.
Yeah. Well, also, she's also like a very external person. She needs to say what she needs to say just to kind of understand it and like feel it by saying it.
Right.
With me, I'm internal, so like I internalize everything and like figure it out in my head as I'm going on the fly. So
which is part of why you're in therapy.
Yeah.
I mean internalizing a lot of pain and things like that can have an adverse effect.
I've just learned to be an internal person and be kind of quiet but like some people will bring it out of me. They'll bring out like myself. So, but yeah, like I see her getting really good. I wouldn't doubt if she fucking starts like murdering shit and just like fucking.
That'd be a beautiful thing,
Yeah,
man.
I'm here.
I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
Yeah, manifesting a huge international DJ.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, she's
Just tell her don't take none of my jobs. But other than that, she could.
Her track selection is very good, man.
That's what's up.
I'll sit with her and she'll play stuff, and she's like, "How'd that sound?" I'm like, "That was mixed." I was like, "Wow, that's really good." But yeah.
That's beautiful, man. And you know what? It's beautiful when a couple gets to share something like that. You know,
we're definitely connecting through that. You know, like we're going through our own stuff right now. So it's good that we connect through that and like plants and like our animals and like she's also.
How many animals do y'all have?
We have 5 cats.
5 cats.
Yeah, they're super chill.
That's a pride. Like that's like literally.
I mean, they're originally her cats, but I mean they're our cats. But like they're so chill though. They're not like crazy to take care of.
Holy crap, dude! 5 cats.
Holy crats.
Holy cat.
But yeah, so yeah, cats, plants.
How many plants do y'all have?
We got a lot.
Ooh, it's like a jungle over there.
Yeah, our balcony is, and like we have like a bunch of plants inside, which I mean it's awesome. I love plants.
Do the cats ever just chill in the plants?
We have them all like hanging inside because you know we don't want them eating them or getting sick.
Yeah.
You know, so also that we're also connecting with like gaming. Like I've always been a gamer, but I haven't had a console for a while.
Yeah.
So
you stepped away from it for not stepped away, but you didn't. I know you had one for a bit, and then you didn't have one.
Yeah, and I kind of just got put it to the wayside for a while, and then I finally got a PS4 and bought like a shit ton of games.
Hell yeah!
Not realizing how much these games take to beat. I bought like some serious games.
Oh yeah. So, like what are you playing right now?
Right now, so I just beat Last of Us 2, and then I just beat Ghost of Tsushima.
Did you ever play Last of Us 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
I played Last of Us 1 like right in time for part 2 to come in because I already had it pre-ordered.
Oh, okay.
Because I heard how good of a game it was when I started. I was like, this is a really good game. So I'm gonna just pre-order part 2, and I'm gonna play 1, and then have it just segue right into it.
I played Last of Us 1 when it came out, so I still had that emotional attachment.
Dude.
So then when obviously we're not going to spoil it, but when the situation happened in 2, I put it down, never went back to it.
Dude,
I'm going to beat it, but I was like, I need time.
Dude, I think that was the first time that I like legit like watered up. I was like over a game. I'm like, I was talking to Lauren. I'm like, am I really like welling up over a video game right now? I'm like, that was fucking heavy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Very early.
Very early. Very
it's
early.
Like, oh, this is what we're doing. Oh, okay.
So that, and I'm playing Apex, and I've been playing that a lot more because I'm like I'm finally starting to get okay.
Mm-hmm.
So like Lauren's watching me play, and she's playing it. Like, well, I actually got her a PS4.
Okay.
So she can play in the other room and we'll play together. And like we've been playing Cuphead, which I fucking hate that game. I love it, but I hate it, man.
It's hard as shit.
I'm
hard
like,
as hell.
Dude, I never thought that game would be so hard. I'm like, oh, it's a cool, like old school cartoon game.
Yeah.
Dude, like I literally get so frustrated that I have to put the controller down before I break it.
Yeah.
Because it will put me in a mood where I'm like, I'm over it.
Right.
Like me and Lauren gets like we almost get pissed off at each other. Like, why did you fucking do that? I'm like, let's just stop before we like get in an argument.
Yeah, step away from it for a second.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm waiting.
Man,
I'm waiting on Cyberpunk to come out.
Man, I already got it pre-ordered.
Yes, me too.
I have it pre-ordered on, and this is going to sound horrible, but I got it pre-ordered on 3 different platforms. I got it pre-ordered on Xbox and PS4 and PC.
Damn.
Yeah.
I want to get the PS5 when it comes out.
100% I'm going to get it. As soon as it's available to pre-order, I'm pre-ordering it.
When can you pre-order it?
So they haven't announced the price yet, and they like they're supposed to email me when the pre-orders go live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get one really bad.
Yeah. I'm going to get both. Obviously, I'm going to get both. I have multiple of every console.
Yeah, you have every console.
I'm going to get both of them. Once I set up so what we're in right now used to be my living room, that.
Yeah.
and I just shoved everything over there to set this up.
I walked in, I was like, oh, that's
yeah, just everything just shoved over there with that giant
is that a big old love
beam.
sack?
Yeah, it's a big old
Is that a love sack?
Yeah, with the ottoman. Got the ottoman with it too.
Dude,
Yeah.
those are mad comfortable.
Oh, Pun loves it. Pun
Yeah.
loves it. Yeah. Well, like I think we almost did a stream with him just sitting on that.
Dude, I think you should. I mean, it would go with the colors.
Well, I had it in the corner for a while, but then we started making it a little more, every week a little bit more professional.
Yeah, maybe have like episode where it's just like super lounge,
A chill stream.
and
Yeah.
just, like,
I was thinking about doing a porch stream, like just out on the porch, just chilling.
Yeah, right.
Real quick, man. I want to have you back because I feel like there's so much more that we can touch on.
Oh yeah, totally.
We're coming up on 2 hours right now.
I have so many stories.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I know you do, man. That's why I want to do another deep dive with you. And I wanted you to be one of the first people that I did one with.
Dude, seriously, I'm really glad and honored that you brought me out here.
I'm honored that you trusted me to share your experience with, man, and to get your story out to.
I mean, honestly, even like talking about all this stuff again is healing. Like it's
therapeutic in a
therapeutic.
sense. Yeah.
It's good to get it out again and just like hear it and just and like from what I'm going through right now, just to actually like kind of like take it in more than just say it in a more like detached, dismissive way.
It's also good to see how far you've come. You know what
honestly,
I mean?
it's a good thing for people to do to like.
Yeah.
I mean, people never really like stop and like really look at where they are.
Yeah.
And be grateful for like how long they've come, because everyone's always looking forward to like the future and like what's next.
Yeah, they never reflect.
Next
Next
goal.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, because there's times where I shoot myself down or beat myself up a lot, because I'm not where I want to be in certain aspects of my life. But I have to like, stop and be like, and very grateful and be like, yo, like you went through like a lot of things, like a lot of stuff that would have broken people down, and you're still here and you're still like a good person you're trying to be and still like doing your thing and still like,
I mean, you have a 100% success rate because you're still here. You're still with us. So I tell people, listen, if you're still alive, you have a 100% success rate in dealing with the things that try to bring you down.
And it's just good to actually like try to be open-minded to the point of actually trying to like work on yourself, like mentally, not just like physically or whatever, I mean, fix everything, like go inward. Like I'm sure everyone has flaws and people will just ride that flaw and just, not care and put blame on everybody else. But it's good to like look inward and be like, all right, like I have these traits, I have these flaws, and like I want to fix them. I want to like, make them strengths,
For sure. Real quick, tell people how they can find you on the socials. Your IG is
so my IG for like my tattoo work mainly is Dre 5K, so it's DRE 5KAY. And if I know you, or if you're my client, or I know you more on a personal tip, or if you are into like if you're into the more DJ side of stuff, you can follow me at my personal one, which is just Dre Leone, DRE LEONE, and then Facebook Andre Burton. Or I also have 2 other pages for my DJ stuff. It's DJ Andre Loene, and then artwork is Andre Loene Art.
I was about to say I have the Andre Loene art pulled up on the lower third right there.
Oh yeah.
Sir, thank you so much for coming
man.
in and doing this with me, man.
Yeah,
I really appreciate
thanks
you.
for this live healing session.
Hey, man, that's what we're here to do.
Yeah,
that's what we're here to do.
And also, like, it's really good to hang out and catch up because, like,
for sure.
Me and you go way back, and like we haven't talked in a long time.
It's been a while.
So
we're gonna do a lot more of that later on the live stream.
Oh yeah. Let's get into
yeah, man. Thank you for coming in, and we are now signing out.
Peace.